head coach percentage behind Roy Williams. Time now for the Powerade Sideline Report with Jamie Maggio.
Hey, Spiro, thank you. You know, you said it a moment ago, a 16 seed has never upset a 1 seed in the tournament, but I spoke to Southern's Jamil Grace. He said, we're not even thinking about that. He said, I'll tell you what, we've been the underdogs all year long. This is just another game on the schedule. He said, hard work got us here. We will rely on hard work to get us through this game. So let's see if the Southern can put up some hard work early against the Bulldogs here.
All right, Jamie, 8th all-time NCAA tournament appearance for Southern out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 23-9. Auto bid out of the Southwestern Athletic Tournament. Defeated Prairie View in a thriller. And we start here, Southern with possession. This is Jamil Grace, the senior. Out of Beltran. And a 1-2 punch outside look from Cameron Moore. And a rebound by Harris. Gonzaga so confident, second longest active winning streak in college basketball. They've won 14 straight, trailing only Davidson. Davidson with 17 in a row. This is Hart. Elias Harris, spinning baseline. Brandon Moore holding steady defensively, but the shot clock doesn't reset. It's at 8. Pangos.
Southern, a team that's really impressed the Gonzaga coaches. You see Beltran get his first look. Beltran can score from 3 or in transition. They were able to win the SWAC championship playing in the 40s. You can win fast and slow, win at different paces. It's a sign of a quality team.
Gonzaga 31-2. Edging out Miami for the final 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. There's Elias Harris going window to give Gonzaga the early 2-point lead. Reminder to take a look at the games going on at the top of your screen. Memphis, St. Mary's going down to the final minute. Memphis with a 5-point lead, a game that you can see right now on CBS. Spiro Beatis, Doug Gottlieb, Jamie Maggio from Salt Lake City. Second game of our quadruple header. Traveling violation. It's Javon Mitchell, the senior from St. Martinville, Louisiana. And this is a day, needless to say, that the Jaguars cannot afford those careless turnovers.
No, but Mitchell has to do his job at the defensive end as well. But they feel like if you can attack the 2 big men from Gonzaga when they're on defense, you have a chance of getting them in foul trouble. Look for Southern to work the ball inside. Mike Hart with the basketball literally never shoots for Gonzaga.
That's Gary Bell. He'll shoot and hit. Corner 3.
And Bell's been shooting the ball so much better of late.
Bell coming into today, he's shooting nearly 50% from downtown over his last 12 games. Far cry from where he was early in the year. He was hovering around 31% over their first 20. Monroe nearly coughed it up and then does. Hart to steal.
And that's why Hart's always on the floor in big moments, because he's such a good defender, such active hands.
Tough pass for Harris to take. This is Grace. Early 5-point lead for Gonzaga. Southern clearly trying to fight through those early game jitters on the big stage now against the #1 team in that final AP poll, Gonzaga. This is Mitchell. Dribbles it off of his foot. 3rd Southern turnover. Take a look at our behind the stats presented by LG. We mentioned the 8th overall appearance for Southern, first in 7 years. We'll see what they've done in field goal percentage in the country, 2nd defensively. Gonzaga, meantime, their story has been told all year. Incredible run. A program that has been known to be the underdog over the years, but no more. They enter this tournament fully expecting to win it all. This is Kelly Olynyk. Gorgeous spin move baseline. 7 straight to start for the Bulldogs.
He's so agile, and he's so patient in the low post. 2 things that you don't see often, especially for a player who, as a post player, relatively inexperienced. Olynyk was a face-up 5, face-up shooter. before this year.
And finally, Southern gets on the board. That's a 3 from the freshman Malcolm Miller, who Doug talked about at the top. Desperate for Miller to have a big day.
Yeah, he can really shoot the basketball, and Mike Hart guarding him will not let him up for air.
Olynyk goes high, low. Harris turned aside. Brandon Moore on the block. This is Gray, still 22 to shoot. Beltran back into the corner. That's a wide open look and a good start from the junior Brandon Moore.
Brandon Moore had the big block at the other end. You always want to reward a player who makes a big defensive play. Make a big defensive play, even for Brandon Moore, not necessarily the score the others are. Now all of a sudden you're going to get better energy out of him as he has Elias Harris, who he's playing behind.
It's a very good defensive team from Southern. They've scored 5 straight points. It's Miller off target, rebound by Hart. What a start to the career for Kevin Pangos. Incredible freshman season last year. He's been just as good this year. This is Bell, freed up by the Olynyk screen. And a rebound by Grace.
But you also notice that Kelly Olynyk has only gotten 1 post touch. He makes a great move inside. Kevin Pangos needs to not allow those shooters to get greedy. Throw the ball inside to the big fella and let Southern get in foul trouble.
There's a corner 3. Miller from the outside. 8 straight for Southern.
You know, you can tell a lot from the body language of coaches when you discuss scouting reports. And in talking to Ray Giacoletti, one of the assistants for Gonzaga, he said, look, man, this is not a normal number 16 seed. A remarkable turnaround story and a team that can score.
There is a loose ball foul against Olynyk, so Gonzaga has missed 4 straight. Southern hanging with the big boys in the early going. As we told you at the top, no 16 has ever beaten a 1. That doesn't mean they haven't been close. 1989, Georgetown narrowly escaping over Princeton by 1. That same tournament, Oklahoma defeating East Tennessee State in a heartbreaker. 1990, Michigan State surviving in overtime against Murray State, and the Catamounts so close. Western Carolina coming up 2 points short against Purdue. And a good start here, meantime, for Roman Banks and his Southern University Jaguars. But keep in mind, Doug, none of these kids have ever been in the tournament. They fell behind 7-0 at the start. They've scored 8 straight as they've kind of gotten their nerves under control.
Well, remember, this is a program that was in complete disarray when he took over just 2 years ago. Only 9 scholarships were available. They were on APR probation. They couldn't even play in the SWAC tournament, and here they are. 3 seasons removed from playing Gonzaga and nearly beaten by 50, and now they're competitive in the NCAA tournament.
There's a 3 from Pangos to put Gonzaga back in front. And a reminder to keep an eye on the scores at the top of your picture over on CBS. Memphis down the stretch, leading St. Mary by 4 in the final seconds.
And Pangos is a lights-out shooter, especially in transition. It's easier for him to create room that way. There's a weakness to the Gonzaga guards. They don't necessarily break you down off the dribble, but in transition, they can get shots.
Well, Malcolm Miller not shy here at the start. Draws contact, he'll step to the line. Southern's only tournament win back in 1993, the first round over Georgia Tech. Jaguars as a 13 seed, knocking off the Yellow Jackets. And there's Roman Banks. First D1 head coaching position, spent the last 8 years as an assistant at Southeastern. Well, fans, you can celebrate 75 years of March Madness by voting for your all-time favorite players, teams, and moments of the NCAA tournament. Vote now at ncaa.com/March Madness. Well, Doug hit on some of the issues that Banks had to deal with. Inherited a program that had gone 4-26 the year before, had a great year last year. Doug leads them to a 17-14 record. But even beyond that, just getting kids to go to class, making sure that the academics were in order, had to deal with heavy NCAA sanctions. Just an incredible job that they have done getting this team into the tournament here in just year 2. This is David Stockton, back in his dad's old stomping grounds. What a story that is. Stockton, who lived here in Salt Lake City until the age of 10, when his Hall of Fame father, John Stockton, of course, retired. Family moved immediately to Spokane, but this has to be a huge thrill for David. There's John in attendance.
How'd you like to drive down John Stockton Boulevard to go to your game? And
well, how about this? I mean, this is something that very few kids can experience. Just being here is one thing, but a chance to pose with his father's statue outside the arena here. Well, Stockton, of course, teamed all those magical years with Karl Malone, those great Utah teams coached by Jerry Sloan. Javon Mitchell on the post, able to draw contact.
We're going right at Sam Dower. Dower has played very well of late. He can score in the mid-range, score in the low post. You see that Southern is not afraid of the interior defense of Gonzaga, throwing it right in there.
This is young Darius Johnson, who's coming in, the junior. Another Louisiana native. Christopher Hyder, the freshman, also in for the first time. Southern 3 of their first 7. This is Mitchell over the top of Dower. Mitchell, the senior, his first 2 points. And Gonzaga's lead down to 1. Drew Barham is coming for the Bulldogs for the first time. Barham, the junior, Memphis native. Dower, the southpaw, can step out. He can certainly knock down that shot. His first points.
And they got 3 big guys who could start for anyone in America. Sam Dower comes off the bench for the Zags, but that's only because he's got a lottery pick and a potential player of the year in front of him.
There's a 3. What a start for Brandon Moore. More coming into today, just 3 threes all season.
I think he was energized by that block shot he had on Elias Harris early in the game. Caught a jump shot afterwards, and now you start kind of playing a little bit above your level. Ooh, could have had a run through for a dunk.
Harris well played on the interior. Now this one about the exact opposite from our early game. All defense in the opener, but a great offensive start for both of these teams with 6 made threes between them.
Sam Dower hits a jump shot, and Javon Mitchell inside, kicks it back outside, 3 ball. 1-point game for the Zags.
All right, Greg, Memphis forced to sweat that one out, had an 8-point lead late, but they are through now. They'll take on Michigan State in the round of 32 Saturday.
What an incredible career for Matthew Dellavedova. Of course, played in the Australian national team, and everybody but one team ends this tournament a loser. That doesn't mean you personally are a loser. Dellavedova brought a lot to the Moraga campus of St. Mary's.
And St. Mary's, a team, of course, that Gonzaga knows all too well in the West Coast Conference. Arch rival there. Outside look at a 3, and Southern keeps coming. Derek Beltran, the senior, with his first points.
Can get it going in a hurry. Beltran, another junior college transfer, a very efficient player in transition and an excellent 3-point shooter.
It's Barnes squaring up. Well, just to have a lead at this point, we're not incredibly early anymore, nearly midway through the first half. Beltran, the head fake. And a rebound by Pangos. We'll find Dower. Gets the friendly roll and a foul. So Sam Dower doing it inside and out. Second field goal. He's got 5 points.
Sam Dower, this is just called a quick transition post. Go in, lock in. Stockton inside. John Stockton to a big guy in the low post at that block. I think this Jim has seen it a time or two.
John Stockton,
David Stockton, John Stockton.
His dad seated behind the Gonzaga bench about 8 rows up. And he looks nervous, almost like he's playing in this game. Bauer's free throw no good.
He still works out at GU nearly every day. Occasionally plays with the players in the summertime. Really competitive basketball games up in Spokane. A lot of former Zags in the area, guys playing overseas. They come back home.
You know, Mark Few talked about just how great it is to have him around the program, but he's very quiet. What a play, spinning baseline maneuver. And a chance at a three-point play from Yandarius Johnson, the junior. I mean, this does not look like an intimidated basketball team.
There's nothing to be intimidated by. You know, the difference between high level, high major, mid major, low major. This is a very skilled offensive team that grinds you defensively, gets after you. And if you look at the blueprint for how to beat Gonzaga, it's attack those guards. Brandon Paul came in and did it early in the year at the Kennel. And Southern does not appear in any way shaken by the fact they're playing a #1 seed.
We sat with Roman Banks yesterday as Olynyk gets it back, misses the little bunny. The putback, no good. That's Przemysl Karnowski, the freshman out of Poland. And they will count the field goal. So 1-point game as we take another look.
Karnowski catches it, keeps it high, and because the rim was jostled when the ball was on it, even if it wasn't going in, the goaltending call was called.
We sat with Roman Banks yesterday, and he basically told us, look, we're just going to go for it and see what happens. Good start for the Jaguars, to say the least. This is Beltran creating his own shot. And cleared weak side by Barham.
Southern is overloading on one side of the floor and then swinging the ball to Beltran where he has an entire side cleared. They believe that whomever's guarding him, Gary Bell Jr., Aram, he can ice him, go one-on-one.
Karnowski coughs it up in the lane. Second Bulldogs turnover. Mitchell double team quickly. Still plenty of time to shoot. Now Southern resets. Beltran. Here comes Stockton out of the fray. Bell trying to beat them back. Tough layup. And Gonzaga back in front. 5 points for Gary Bell Jr., the sophomore. All the talk about Kelly Olynyk and Kevin Pangos, the star sophomore. Probably not enough talk around Gary Bell, a guy who gets overshadowed on this team, as does really Elias Harris.
Well, that's happened on so many of their teams. You know, when they had Dan Dickow and the KC Cavalries of the world. Star players. Look at the great teams that they had when they had Adam Morris.
Stockton going high off glass. 3-point lead for Gonzaga with 6 unanswered points.
David Stockton in transition. This just seems normal. Zags retake the lead, up 3.
I remember coming down.
6 straight points for the Zags, back in front over Southern, 22-19, in what has been a highly entertaining start here in Salt Lake City. Our game summary so far: 7 combined threes, and there is the Hall of Famer John Stockton. John Stockton drive just outside the arena. His son David at the free throw line, heeding his father's advice, breaking down the defense and setting the table, and a chance now to complete a three-point play.
All-time assist leader in NBA history, all-time steals leader in NBA history. But he was a scorer when he played at GU. And of course, it wasn't until '94 they actually made the NCAA tournament. In 1999, they made a magical Elite Eight run, and that's when they became America's Cinderella team.
Mind-numbing stats for Stockton Sr. 9 times led the league in assists. Corner three a little bit off target.
Wow.
Time for Miller, and look at Olynyk get down the floor. 9 straight for the Zags. .15 to shoot. Grace has his pocket picked by Hall. Make it Bell rather. Bell, the defensive dynamo, can't finish, and knocked out of bounds underneath by Pangos.
Things you can't teach. You can't teach vision, and you can't teach the high, long bounce pass. Just a beautiful right-hand look from David Stockton to Kelly Olynyk. I'm not sure what's more impressive, the one-hand bounce pass or the fact that your 7-foot center can run the court and finish it.
Stockton deflects the pass from Grace. Johnson in the corner, goes down low to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to force his way to the reverse, knocked out of bounds by Gonzaga. Well, chops will be busted on a brand new season of Men at Work. Premieres Thursday, April the 4th, 10/9 Central, only on TBS. Very funny. We're in Salt Lake City. Gonzaga and the Southern University Jaguars out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 1-16 matchup in the West. Here's Jameel Grace, hits it on a long 2. Southern have missed 4 of their last 5 shots, but staying close here, down 4. Pangos. Boy, his defender Grace blanketed by the screen from Karnowski.
Karnowski is just a huge, huge center.
7'1", 305 pounds. Gonzaga assistant coach Tommy Lloyd was in Hamburg, Germany, watching Kevin Pangos, who was there with the under-17 Canadian national team, and they noticed this kid. Immediately got on the phone, told Mark Few we got to take a close look at him, and here he is now. Freshman year, good look at it that time, rebound by Mitchell.
And so much of what's made Gonzaga consistently successful and make the NCAA tournament 14 straight years is the depth of quality players and the player development. You see Stockton cutting through. Karnowski sets the screen and Grace tries to go under. I don't know why he's going under, but he goes under. And if that's not a moving screen, I don't know what is. Ted Valentine's right there. That's a moving screen.
Well, to fight through any screen is tough, especially for a guy that size and especially if he's moving.
Right.
But they get away with one there. Pangos bangs in the 3.
It's impossible to guard a guy and go under a screen if you allow that type of movement.
You see the run for the Bulldogs, 12-2. Olynyk squares up. Harris, what a play, able to bang it off the leg of Grace.
And Elias Harris is interesting. He's gone from, overrated on draft boards after his freshman year. There's this thought he'd come out, he'd be a lottery pick, to wildly underrated now. He doesn't get talked about. But a very skilled face-up power forward who's become a better defender.
MVP of the West Coast Conference Tournament last week. Has started all but 133 of his career games. Stockton can hit the 3. And the rebound by Beltran. Southern's turned it over 6 times so far, and they're only down 7. had a lead in this game at the 10.5-minute mark if you've just joined us. Before Gonzaga went on their run. Mitchell elevating with the hook shot over Olynyk.
When they've been able to line up, execute their offense, take some shots, they've been decent offensively. It's been transition defense that has probably hurt the Southern Jaguars the most.
Mitchell, the senior, averages nearly 10 a game. Now defending Olynyk. Now this was Olynyk's game early. He had the runner blocked and then knocked out of bounds off of Olynyk. And the winner of this game advances into the round of 32 where Wichita State awaits. That'll be a Saturday afternoon affair here in Salt Lake City. Wichita State hammering Jamie Dixon's Panthers today by 18 points. And right now Gonzaga up 7 as we move on to 4 minutes to play before halftime. Beltran fouled, buries the shot. And now was it a 2 or a 3?
Called a 2, but I do believe that Beltran got away, Derek Beltran got away with a little Reggie Miller move. Called a 3-point shot, and the Jaguars back within 2.
Follow tournament scores, stats, and news live on the CBS Sports app. Get it free by texting SCORE to the number 42777 or by visiting cbssports.com/mobile from your phone or tablet. Spiro Ditas, Doug Gottlieb, Jamie Maggio, our entire crew from Salt Lake City. What a start so far for the Southern University Jaguars. The 16 seed taking on Gonzaga. Led this game about middle of the way through this first half. Right now down 2. As Derek Beltran unable to cap what would have been a 4-point play. Pick and roll play. Stockton, but Olynyk is blocked. Here comes Grace to the rim. Blocked by Harris. Officials letting him play. Olynyk trying to put it on the deck. And a foul charge to Brandon Moore, the junior.
And we spoke of Brandon Moore, and Brandon Moore comes from the weak side. Nice little pick and roll from David Stockton, and they don't have athletes like that in the WCC. They just don't. Moore comes from the weak side. Tremendous block shot. That's his second block. He blocked Harris, and now he's gotten Olynyk.
And Moore's done it offensively as well. He's hit his only 2 shots. Gonzaga, well, what's the call here? They say turnover, and the Jaguars get it back. Third miscue by Gonzaga. There's Roman Banks, the second-year head coach. His counterpart, Mark Few. At the opposite ends of the coaching spectrum. Few among the heavyweights, and Banks trying to pull off what would be an absolute shocker. Oh, what a find. Hart blocked from the back by Miller. And Gonzaga continuing to find out just how athletic Southern is as the Jaguars punch back.
Well, it was a really smart play from Mike Hart. He defends a terrible shot. Just awful shot selection by Miller. And he beats him back defensively, but because he kind of steps in a hole trying to lay the ball in, trying to make the catch, he can't go up and dunk it. Wow, you're talking about great recovery. Malcolm Miller.
So this is Derek Beltran at the free throw line. Average just under 16 points per game. A very good free throw shooter at 80%, but has missed his last 2.
You know, they've actually had to encourage him to be more of a scorer because he wasn't a big scorer in high school or in junior college. And now he's their best player. This is kind of new to him.
Now this is first year really is the focal point of an offense. Riverview, Florida native, has worked awfully hard to try to create his own shot. And what a year he's had now. And in his senior year leading the Southern Jaguars program. Pangos left open a 3. Gonzaga's lead back to 4. Pangos, the sophomore, the West Coast Conference newcomer of the year a year ago. Averages just under 12 per game. We hit the final 2 minutes before halftime. Southern down 4. This is Grace, 5 to shoot. Mike Hart clears for the Zags. Stockton to the rim, sticks it back. Does Elias Harris with 2 hands. Harris has had a quiet game so far, 4 points. Mitchell, he goes glass. A lot of contact. 6 from Mitchell. It's a 4-point game.
Mitchell puts 2 hands around the waist of Olynyk every time down the floor, trying to just push him away from the low block. And so far, they haven't called it.
Olynyk with a 3. Whistle blown. I believe this one is against Gonzaga. So Southern will have it.
This is perfect execution of Gonzaga's zone offense. Stockton throws it inside to Olynyk. You got to get the ball to the high post. And Kevin Pangos, you're a shooter on the weak side, so oftentimes you forget that you can't hide. You got to get below the level of the basketball. And Kelly Olynyk's such a vital weapon against zones for Gonzaga because he can shoot out of that high post, but he's also an adept passer.
Foul charge to Hart, his second. So 1-1 now for Jameel Grace. Grace, a 67% free thrower. And Southern is within 3. Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up around the country. All the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates on AT&T at the half. Coming up next.
Grace, when the coaching change was made, Roman Banks called Jameel Grace in and said, because he was in the league and he knew him well. So now I'm going to make you my personal project. He's lost 25 pounds, and he's really grinded him. And Jameel Grace's emergence as a point guard and a leader for this Southern team kind of embodies what the entire program has gone through. Said he was lazy, didn't take care of his body, and now he's become an outstanding leader as a point guard.
He's down to 185 pounds.
No way.
I'm just going off the piece of paper I got in front of me. He's come a long way.
That I will agree with.
Shot clock at 7. They go high-low. Harris fouled off the pretty pass from Olynyk with 37.9 to play in the half, and Gonzaga up by only 2 points.
This is so rare for a player of the size of Olynyk. You do have big guys that can shoot. He can shoot, so you have to close out at least 3/4 of the way. But then, not just a high-low pass, but Harris wasn't wide open. There was a nice touch on it. The execution, the pass, and of course the sealing in the low post by Harris.
So here is Harris, the senior. Born and raised in Germany, lived there through his high school years. And now trying to cap off his collegiate career with a deep tournament run. Fans watch live games on your computer, iPhone, iPad, and select Android devices with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. You see Harris's numbers so far. Second free throw converted, and now Mark Few will take his timeout. 37.9 to play, but Southern has made the early statement they're not going anywhere down 3. All right, Greg, and as soon as this one goes to halftime, you can flip over to True TV, Marquette and Davidson. Here in Salt Lake City, 27 seconds to play, about a 2-second difference, shot to game clock. Southern in the bonus, down only 3.
had Beltran with the ball and Harris on him. Harris, not the greatest foot quickness in comparison to Beltran. Look for Beltran to get the ball back.
This is Grace, 3 to shoot. Guarded by Bell. Bell bottles him up. Olynyk has it. Final second will come off. Stockton's shot would not have counted as we reach halftime here in Salt Lake City. Gonzaga, the #1 seed in the West, being challenged and then some by Southern out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Southern led this game, if you've just joined us, at around the 10:30 mark before Gonzaga made their run. But a 3-point game at halftime. Mark Few standing by with Jamie Maggio.
Thanks, Spiro. Coach, Southern shooting almost 50%. How can you disrupt them offensively?
Well, we got to do a better job. We messed up some coverages, left their best players open from 3. And then a couple guys that haven't been hitting threes hit threes. So we got to adjust.
And how do you get Harris and Olynyk involved offensively for you?
They need to start finishing plays. We've got them the ball. They need to finish those plays, go up a little bit stronger.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Back to you guys.
All right, Jamie, so halftime here at Salt Lake City. Mark Few's Gonzaga Bulldogs 34, Southern 31. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Check, the guy had him through his, so I think he's going to get released. But the guy that we bought him from was sitting up there on the team, he's got something. He told us himself.
thanks, guys. Coach, 16 seed, hanging in with the 1 seed, and not only are you hanging in there, you guys fought back twice in this game. How do you keep this momentum going through the second half?
Well, we know that this team played for 40 minutes. They usually go on runs, so we got to continue to stay focused in. We got to limit them to one shot, and we got to get back in transition.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. You got to go play the game every second. You got to go play the way you practice, because we practice too hard every day. You didn't come here to play a basketball game. You came here to win a basketball game. Let's go. On 3 hard work. You got to go play the game every second. You got to go play the way you practice, because we practice too hard every day. You didn't come here to play a basketball game. You came here to win a basketball game. Let's go. On 3 hard work.
Your score at halftime, Gonzaga 34, Southern 31. Roman Banks motivating his guys. That just about tells the story here. And here is Roman with Jamie in Salt Lake City.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, 16 seed, hanging in with the 1 seed, and not only are you hanging in there, you guys fought back twice in this game. How do you keep this momentum going through the second half?
Well, we know that this team played for 40 minutes. They usually go on runs, so we got to continue to stay focused in. We got to limit them to one shot, and we got to get back in transition.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jamie, thanks. Spiro Ditas and Doug Gottlieb with you. They were up 1 with 9:30 left in the first half. No easy task against Gonzaga. Can they do it?
Absolutely they can do it. I mean, we've seen the shot-making skill from them, and I think their length and quickness defensively has really shaken Gonzaga at times where Gonzaga thought they had sure buckets. Southern eliminated them and then ran down the other end and got a bucket.
All right, we take a look at the first half stats presented by Coke Zero. Southern, the boys from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, are right there, down only 3 points at halftime. You see the shooting percentage. What a job defensively that they did, Doug, over the first 20 minutes.
And we're going to see Malcolm Miller, who normally comes off the bench. He's their second leading scorer, but he only plays 26 minutes a game. Actually get a start here in the second half as obviously Coach, for Cameron Monroe, obviously Coach Banks thinks now is the time, and I completely agree with his assessment.
So Gonzaga, the #1 seed in the final AP poll. 31 wins, fresh off their best season ever. Tested here in the second round matchup with possession to start the second half. Pick and roll play. Payne goes to Olynyk wide open, and Gonzaga stretches to a 5-point lead. Olynyk had only 4 points in the first half. Strong contingent has made the trek here from Spokane, just under 600 miles away from campus. Here is Miller. And the rebound pulled by Harris. Well, Mark Few not as fiery perhaps as Roman Banks in that halftime locker room, but he certainly had a message for his guys that this is a dangerous team. Harris swatted by the back. Excellent defensive play by Brandon Moore.
That's his third block, and he's really played energized basketball. He's hit 2 jump shots. He's not really a jump shooter. I think his defense is energized.
Miller. So Gonzaga's lead remains at 5. Here is Pangos, the sophomore, that little fake to create the space, and an offensive rebound from Hart. Well, Harris left open at the free throw line, didn't look to shoot. Olynyk against Mitchell. Blocked by Mitchell, but Miller had it, was out of bounds. 8 to shoot for the Zags.
This is how the pick and roll action happened. As the ball goes to the wing, you'll watch Elias Harris clear out, but the help man needs to stay here because Mike Hart is not going to score. And because Mike Hart empties out, Elias Harris empties out, it frees up the room for the pick and the roll and Kelly Olynyk to get an easy dunk.
Harris 5 to shoot, stuffed underneath, and again it's Moore. Ball did get rimmed, so the shot clock resets. Pangos fires. Harris on a putback, blocked again. Miller that time. The length and athleticism of the Jaguars clearly a factor. Offensive foul. Pangos against Grace.
Let's not give credit to all the Jaguars. Let's give credit to Brandon Moore. Moore had 2 big blocks in the first half. This is really hard. He's pinned underneath by a strong, big Elias Harris, and then he's behind Harris. Harris thinks he has a dunk. Access denied.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Gonzaga doesn't usually see these kind of teams in the WCC.
Well, Brandon Davies is a very good shot blocker at BYU, but St. Mary's, who's their arch rival right now in the WCC, does not have any interior game.
Malcolm Miller, the freshman from Texas, 9 points. Rewarding his head coach, Roman Banks, electing to make the change at halftime, starting Miller.
Miller just got called. Excuse me. Brandon Moore just called for a foul. It's going to be an interesting battle to see who can get position and how the game is officiated between Harris and Moore.
Malcolm Miller, of course, a junior. There's a corner jumper from Bell, off target, rebound Grace. Grace, lightning quick on the spin, couldn't finish. Foul call here against Mitchell, and Gonzaga gets it back. How about this foot speed from Jameel Grace?
Got a little Khalid El Amin to his game, a little Byron Eaton to his game.
Southern not playing like a 16 seed so far.
They are not scared.
We go pick and roll again. Pangos to Olynyk. We've hurt Gonzaga with that play here a couple of times since halftime.
Yeah, they're emptying out the side for the pick and roll. Olynyk can actually pick and pop and shoot the basketball as well. But what Southern has to adjust to is Mike Hart is not going to score. So if he lifts away from the floor, that's number 30 in white. If he empties out and comes up high, don't worry about it. He averages 2 points a game. He's a really effective player, but he doesn't shoot. You have to stay around the basket if you're guarding him.
Olynyk is 78% free throw shooter. We'll be the first to know the latest news on all your teams with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. Stay one step ahead. Check out Team Stream on your iPhone, iPad, or Android device right now. Well, how far this man has come. Kelly Olynyk last year redshirted by Mark Few. And there's a reaching foul charged to Hart. Last year, Olynyk redshirted. Mark Few said he had just too many big bodies. Yeah. Started 4 games 2 years ago, and here he is now, a candidate for National Player of the Year.
We had Robert Sacre, who was very good. Remember, they played Ohio State to a near draw last year,
right,
when they lost to them in the NCAA tournament. So he was backing up an NBA player, and the idea is, hey, can you get better? And Gonzaga's had others redshirt in the past. Matt Santangelo was their first point guard of this run back in 1999. People forget Santangelo was originally a redshirt when he came to Gonzaga.
Speaking of Robert Sacre, his father, Greg LaFleur, formerly the athletic director at Southern. Random connection between these two teams. As Grace had it knocked out of bounds cleanly.
So what a play from Stockton. Stockton playing way off of Grace, but he returns in time and he had his hand on top of that ball.
David Stockton playing in front of his father. NBA Hall of Famer John Stockton. Traveling violation called. Speaking of players in this game with fathers as former NBA players, there is Manute Bol. His father, of course, the late Manute Bol. Such a great personality in the NBA for so many years. Passing away a couple of years ago. First time we've seen Manute in this game. Bol now a senior. Whistle blown, and this one against Gonzaga. Away from the ball, they get Olynyk. And you can see the nervousness on the face of Mark Few. His Zags only up 3 here. We're just under 4 minutes gone by in the second half. This is Beltran. Mitchell going to the left hand. He's shown an ability to score on the block. Olynyk again, that pick and roll play. Every time they've run it, they've had success since halftime. Southern hanging around, down only 3 here in Salt Lake. Three-point lead for Gonzaga. Kelly Olynyk to the free throw line when we resume play. Well, this one of the would be the big story, certainly, as it continues to develop here. We take a look at the early tournament summary so far. Wichita State, first lower seed to advance, knocking off Jamie Dixon's Panthers earlier today. Atlantic 10 so far unblemished. LaSalle through in the first 4, and Marquette evading a disastrous finish. They knock off the 14 seed Davidson program.
Marquette hit 3 after 3 after 3, and still were down 5 with 30 seconds to go. Didn't have a timeout. And on a Vanderblue bucket, they end up stealing one from Davidson, who frankly outplayed him for the first 38 minutes of the game. Remarkable game.
Buzz Williams' team survives in advance. And what a story developing here, nearly 25 minutes into this game. Southern trying to do what no 16 seed has ever done, beat a 1. They're down only 5. Mitchell calls for it, takes sandwich, nice pass to Ball. Not a threat from there. Grace, a little contact from Stockton, no call, and Harris clears.
Stockton's doing a great job of helping off of Grace and then recovering just in time.
Gonzaga has missed its last 7 shots. Bell had it poked away. In the lane and a jump, possession arrow favoring Southern. 6 Gonzaga turnovers.
If you're Southern, you want to get the ball inside to Mitchell. As he has Harris on him, he's got a much better chance of success with Harris on him than he does Olynyk.
Well, this entire building basically pro-Gonzaga. They've traveled so well here as expected, and they are a bit of a state of stunned disbelief at this point. And look who, Madut Bull buries the 3. Just his 10th all season. 2-point game. Mitchell trying to tie up Harris.
Well, remember, Manute Bol was famous for stepping out and hitting 3s, so why not Madut Bol? Perfect release.
And the confidence up the floor. Madut, a senior. He and Grace, the only 2 players that have been with this program each of the last 4 years as Olynyk answers. 11 points for the National Player of the Year candidate. Jameel Grace holding. Senior point man out of Newark, New Jersey. Beltran against Pangos, and he sticks the 3. The Southern Jaguars keep punching back.
There comes a point in every 1 seed's life where the crowd turns on you.
What a play by Olynyk, calmly at the other end. 13 points for Olynyk and a chance at a 3-point play.
Here's Beltran, just rise and fire. Pangos has got his hands down, and Beltran is not scared. And an outstanding cross screen from Harris. That was all set up by Harris, pinning his man and pinning Kelly Olynyk and creating the shot for the redshirt junior.
West Coast Conference Player of the Year, averaging nearly 18 a night. Gives Gonzaga a 4-point lead here with 13:25 remaining. And now the Gonzaga fans trying to get behind the Bulldogs.
Listen, Zag fans travel very, very well. But there's a lot of people in this building who don't have a dog in the fight. You know? Pitt fans just kind of hanging around, Wichita fans hanging around. They turn on you in a heartbeat, especially late in the game.
Mitchell over 2, and he's fouled on the play. Looks like Stockton whistled. So Javon Mitchell, who has been very active at this end of the floor, to the line for 2. He's a 68% free throw shooter.
Javon Mitchell's got kind of one of those old man bodies. You know, he's not chiseled up. He's got a nice little low post game. If you asked the Gonzaga coaches heading in, they said, I said, can they beat you? I said, Javon Mitchell can score in the low post. Their wings can shoot the basketball. And they can defend. Absolutely, they can do it.
Conan State University was founded so Conan could create a basketball team and break into March Madness. Watch Conan weeknights only on TBS to learn more about the Conan State team. Javon Mitchell, the Louisiana transfer. Roman Banks talked early in the year about just how much they were depending on him to give them an inside presence, and he has done that today. It's a 1 of 2 at the line. It's a 3-point Gonzaga lead. See the team foul situation. Olenek again. Out to Pangos. Pangos now just 3 of 8 from the field.
Zag's playing beautiful basketball. Ball's getting to the low post, executing offensively. They just got to get a stop.
Only shooting 38% are the Zags. They leave Grace wide open, long 2. And a rebound pulled by Bell. Bell left open. 6-point game. 8 points for Bell. I told you about the prolific 3-point shooting from him over the last 12 games, nearly 50% from beyond the arc.
At times, they're a little bit too unselfish a team.
Beltran. Stockton in the open floor. Bell for 3. So how does Southern fight through here? Their offense is stalled. They double Mitchell. Leave Grace for the 3. Heady play by Harris, able to tap to Olenek.
Stockton's doing a tremendous job of leaving Grace and daring him to beat him. And to this point, Grace has not been able to.
Southern has not scored in over 3.5 minutes. Olenek. Right through Bull. And a whistle will put him at the line. Olenek just too much length from a dude. Bull will get a timeout.
Patience, great footwork, tremendous balance. The Zags big men putting on a clinic.
summary with the Zags up 6. Both team shooting percentages now hovering around 40. Gonzaga really struggling with the shot. And the Jaguars hanging around down 6.
They are hanging around, and you're waiting for Gonzaga to get consecutive stops. They're doing a quality job of getting the ball inside to Kelly Olynyk, we now see at the free throw line. The next step is you have to get stops to win a national championship. It's a good challenge for them. How about this? There have been 27 red shirts at Gonzaga over the last decade. Think about that. You know, the building blocks of the program have been some transfers, some underrated recruits, some stars, but also player development. And that's coaching, and that's players getting in the gym and just changing their bodies and changing their game.
Olynyk, one of those red shirts last year. Mark Few said he basically just hung around the staff all year, even away from the floor, absorbing as much as he could. And what a year he had, a redshirt junior. You see the offensive drought for Southern. Beltran short.
Keep an eye on David Stockton defensively. He's basically helping on everyone. So Beltran has to play against 1.5 men every time he catches.
Olynyk getting closer. 13 of his 17 points since halftime. And now Gonzaga with its biggest lead. And Roman Banks calls for time.
Kelly Olynyk's going to get the bucket. Well, this was Sam Dower pinning his man behind him. Olynyk with the bucket. Zags up 9.
March Madness continues tonight. 8 more second-round games across CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. You decide the games you want to watch.
Wow, those are good games. South Dakota State Nate Walters against Trey Burke from Michigan. UNLV and Cal. You haven't seen Anthony Bennett, the freshman, Canadian freshman from UNLV. An amazing talent. And, like Kelly Olynyk, another Canadian.
And we've got Belmont, Arizona in the first game of the evening session here in Salt Lake.
Ian Clark. You want to talk about a spectacular shooter the world has not heard of? Ian Clark, 4 straight league championships, first year in the Ohio Valley. Be interested to see if Arizona comes to play.
Well, Belmont, the sexy pick to perhaps pull a second-round upset. And this offensive drought now, Doug, continues for the Jaguars. They've missed 5 straight shots as Gonzaga in the midst of a 9-1 run.
I think a lot of it is David Stockton. He's been like in a one-man zone, one-man help, whereas Gonzaga has taken Mike Hart out, so now they have all scorers on the floor.
Olynyk, he has dominated the second half. 15 points since halftime. 19 for the day as the Jaguars quickly get down the floor. And it's been a very basic pick and roll play that has torn up Southern.
But it's not just the pick and roll. Watch Sam Dower underneath. Here comes the pick, here comes the roll. Sam Dower has his man, pins two men, and he becomes like a blocker, like a fullback, if you will, clearing out space for Kelly Olynyk coming down the lane.
Darius Johnson at the line, the junior, out of Plain Dealing, Louisiana. He's given them some good minutes off the bench.
It's those types of unselfish plays that Gonzaga charts, that we talk about winning plays in trying to advance in the NCAA tournament. Sam Dower, for 2 consecutive buckets for Kelly Olynyk, has screened his own man and Olynyk's man in creating space for the 7-footer to roll down the lane.
With Davidson's loss earlier to Marquette today, Gonzaga now has the longest active winning streak in the country at 14 straight. Pangos hasn't had the stroke today, but they reset the shot clock with the offensive rebound.
And their closest call was down the street in Provo, Utah, as they took on BYU on senior night. An incredible atmosphere at the Marriott Center.
31 wins, most ever. And look at that number. One of the big themes in this game. This is Dower. Stockton stepped out of bounds. He felt he was pushed. Christopher Hyder on the aggressive defense. 7 Zags turnovers. Still plenty of time remaining, 8:37. Every time you expect the Bulldogs to throw that knockout punch, Southern's still there.
Mitchell has to get a low post touch.
Johnson against Pangos. .11 to shoot. They double Mitchell. Johnson for the 3. Huge shot. 7-point game.
But the bigger key is getting Mitchell a touch, because Gonzaga is over-helping a little bit. They respect Mitchell's ability. He's got a nice turnaround game, and they're coming off the guards and daring Mitchell to throw the ball back out.
Johnson only a 23% three-point shooter for Southern. Fell around the screen, but they give him a great look. And the rebound pulled by Moore.
Mitchell needs to get a touch at the block. Sounds like a broken record, but you just got a nice inside-out jump shot.
Beltran. A little bit too strong, and then Dower couldn't rebound it. Southern with a fresh 35 when we come back.
Easiest thing in basketball. Inside out, kick it out. Darius Johnson for 3. Jaguars hanging around.
Well, Kelly Olynyk, quiet in the first half, has taken over 15 of his 19 since halftime.
And it's seemingly all been on the pick and roll. Cross screens, down screens, but you get the guy the ball going to the basket, and he shows his unique gifts offensively.
You can't overstate, as you see Olynyk's numbers, the job that these Southern kids have done. Keep in mind, none of these players from Southern have ever been in the NCAA tournament. Here they are as a 16 seed, going toe-to-toe with the #1. As Beltran answers right out of the timeout, and this is a 5-point game.
Wet. Beltran sees Pangos on him or Stockton on him, and he's just rising up and shooting.
That's the 5th basket for Southern in the second half, the first from inside 3-point distance.
Remember, he averaged 8 a game at Tallahassee Junior College. He's just learning to become a star scorer.
Traveling violation.
Just a basic inbounds pass for Southern, but you get the ball to Beltran. He's got Stockton on him, and Stockton plays good defense. That's not bad defense. That's just a big-time fadeaway.
Well, these Gonzaga fans starting to sweat a little bit. We move under 7 minutes to play. Dangerous pass. Taken back by the freshman Hyder, but he stepped out and a costly turnover. 9th by the Jaguars.
Terrific deflection by Kelly Olynyk. And Hyder, the freshman, has to take one dribble down to make a bounce pass. I like the fact that Southern's going inside. They just have to complete that pass.
Elias Harris, 5 points today, just 2 of 10 shooting, however. Still plenty of time to shoot. 15 on the 35. Olynyk. Mitchell late to get there. 21 points for Olynyk. Already eclipsing his season average of 17 per game. Beltran bottled up by Bell. 15 to shoot. This is the man that want to have it with the basketball. Beltran fouled on the drive. It's on Pangos.
Elias Harris is working for position, and that allows Kelly Olynyk to simply flash to the high post, and then he mistakenly gets tripped by Javon Mitchell. Just their feet get tangled up. But that was really his game, before he redshirted. Face up, he wanted to prove to people he could shoot from 19 to 20 feet, and they had to convince him, if you want to make it for the next 15 years, you got to get down there where the big boys play. And now he can do both.
5-point game after the Beltran free throws. Under 6 minutes left. Traveling violation.
Gary Bell Jr. catches. What is he called?
9th Gonzaga turnover. And now Southern with a chance to creep a little closer. Beltran against the Zags' best perimeter defender, Bell. It's a 3. He buries it! And the Southern University Jaguars are within 2.
This is what happens. Suddenly, the 1 seed becomes the road team. Zags only up 2.
No 16 seed has ever defeated a 112-0. But Southern University out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, within 2 here with 5:12 left.
As big an upset as any 16 seed beating a 1 would be, think about the fact that 2 years ago, this staff came in here, they were only allowed 9 scholarships. They weren't allowed to compete in the SWAC conference tournament because they were on APR NCAA probation.
Roman Banks inherited a program that had all those sanctions and had gone just 4-26 the year prior. Led them to 17 wins a year ago, and here they are now. 23 wins out of the Southwestern Atlantic Conference, and they have got the Zags on the ropes. Gonna go pick and roll to Olenek, who is swatted out of bounds by Brandon Moore. Ball stays in. Johnson off the hands of Harris, and Southern will have it with a fresh 35.
Gonzaga brings an incredible fan base, but suddenly now everyone's cheering for Southern. And we've seen this the entire game, where it looks like Gonzaga's got a lane and Moore gets a block. Brandon Moore's unique length and a pogo stick jumping ability and athleticism has saved 5 buckets defensively for Southern.
This is Hyder, the true freshman born in Dallas. Beltran. Moore down the paint, extending, and a blocking foul. Brandon Moore to the free throw line. He can tie it for Southern with 4:08 remaining.
And Brandon Moore, who only had 3 threes on the entire season, but he hit 2 jump shots in the first half. Smartly pump fakes, and Kelly Olynyk gets caught trying to step sideways and take the charge. I think that was a good call.
Brandon Moore, his collegiate career started 4 years ago at Arkansas, then transferred to FIU. Spent a couple of years there, but has finally found a home here with Southern. And what a day he has had. 4 blocks. You see his free throw percentage on the season. It's a 1-point game.
I wasn't aware there were so many Southern alums in the Salt Lake City area.
A lot of Wichita State fans are still in the building. The Shockers awaiting the winner of this game.
Magic of the tournament.
We are tied at 54. 4 minutes remaining. First tie since the 10-12 mark of the first half. Pangos, long 2. What a shot from the sophomore. Beltran answers for Southern. $19 for the senior Derek Beltran.
Pangos deadly off the screen. They're screening and re-screening.
Bell for the 3. He got it. Gonzaga and Southern going back and forth here in Salt Lake City. Johnson had it stripped, and Olynyk has it for the Zags.
What a play from Stockton. David Stockton has come off the weak side and helped out several times over, and that steal gets the Zags an extra possession.
David Stockton playing in front of his father in the building where his father became a Hall of Famer in the NBA. Well, the officials changing their mind. One had a block, the other says charge, and Southern will have it. And that's the 4th foul on Kelly Olynyk.
They will not go away. Kelly Olynyk's got 4. Zags in a dogfight.
A long way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But the Southern faithful are out of their seats here. Your game reset, 3 timeouts apiece. Kelly Olynyk just called for his 4th foul. 1 more and his day is over. 21 points, he's been their star. 2:41 to play. What about strategy now, Doug, for Roman Banks and the Jaguars?
I don't think it's out of the question at all that you throw the ball to Javon Mitchell inside. Big number 44 for Southern. Olynyk's got 4, plus Mitchell's shown the ability to score with his back to the basket. But you have to be wary of David Stockton. He's playing like a one-man zone, a one-man helper, and he's got incredibly quick hands. Now Stockton's out, so Mike Hart is in the game. Hart also very good at helping.
Christopher Hyder, the true freshman, handling the point. This is Beltran. A step-back 3, not even close, and a late whistle on Bell. An enormous call. 2:28 remaining. And 3 free throws for Derek Beltran.
Terrible shot. I'm guessing I couldn't clearly see whether or not Gary Bell Jr. ran underneath it. What'd you think?
It was close. That's a tough call to make at this juncture of the game. Two-point game. David Stockton back in for Gonzaga. Replaces Hart. And Darius Johnson, the junior, comes in for Southern.
Smart substitution from Mark Few. Hart's a better, bigger defender. Stockton, though, can at least make a shot, whereas Hart, you play a one-man zone off him.
So 2-shot foul. They say that the foot of Beltran was on the 3-point line. 2:20 remaining. Gonzaga's lead down to 1. Olynyk playing with 4 fouls. .12 to shoot. Shot clock at 4. Pangos buries the 3.
Gonzaga's last 3 baskets have been a Kevin Pangos jump shot, a Gary Bell jump shot set up by Kevin Pangos, and then Kevin Pangos creating with a bump of his shoulder a step back bucket. The other Canadian for the Zags, playing exceedingly well.
4th 3-pointer for the sophomore Kevin Pangos. And Roman Banks calls for time.
And Pangos, the sophomore, experienced quietly in a Zag. Zags hanging on up 4.
Four-point lead for the Zags. Southern University Jaguars looking for what would be a historic finish. No 16 seed has ever beaten a 1.
Got a little bit of a bailout call last time. That ball needs to go inside to Javon Mitchell, 44. Beltran took a bad shot, a rush shot. Whether or not Gary Bell Jr. fouled him once, he's not going to foul him again.
Spiro Ditas, Doug Gottlieb, Jamie Maggio, our entire crew from Salt Lake City. And this, a finish that we did not expect, to say the least. Miller.
Now, if you're Southern, you have to know that number 30, Mike Hart, is not an offensive player. You don't guard him unless he's right around the bucket for a layup. So when they go pick and roll action, you got to stay in the lane with like one-man help.
Doug, any thought here to fouling in this situation?
Not yet.
Under a minute to play. Gonzaga with possession and a 4-point lead. Pangos. 45 seconds remaining. Grace. Beltran lost the handle. Still plenty of time to shoot. Grace had it stripped cleanly out of bounds. 21 on the shot clock and 33.9 remaining.
And you see why Mike Hart's in the game. Just a tremendous job of defending Beltran. Ooh. Whoa. That's a foul. It's a foul on Pangos.
Jameel Grace, the inbounder. Inbounds to Moore. Miller. Over Harris. Fight for the rebound, and Olynyk has it for Gonzaga.
Now you got a foul.
Roman Banks screaming for his guys to foul. They finally get to Pangos. And at least for the moment, it appears as though Gonzaga will escape disaster. Still plenty of time, 14.3 remaining. It is still a 1-1 for the Bulldogs.
Kevin Pangos, a prolific free throw shooter. He's hit his last 2 jump shots, and what's special about the sophomore is that by starting as true freshmen, he and Gary Bell Jr., incredibly experienced despite the fact they're just sophomores.
Well, Mark Few says that this young man lives for the big moment. Still only a sophomore. Canadian national. Six-point game. Beltran pulling up baseline. Final 5 seconds. Miller from the corner 3, and that will do it. Southern so close, but Mark Few and Gonzaga survive and advance to the round of 32.
Kelly Olynyk was spectacular at times, but it was Kevin Pangos late. 2 big jump shots, 1 big assist, and between he and Kelly Olynyk, they scored 17 of the Zags' last 21 points.
6-point Gonzaga win, and they are through to the 3rd round where Wichita State awaits. That'll be the first of our 3rd round matchups here in Salt Lake City on Saturday. Kelly Olynyk, 17 of his 21 points in the second half. Your final score, Gonzaga 64 and Southern 58. Turn now to TNT for Oregon and Oklahoma State. TBS has the #1 overall seed Louisville and NCANT at 6:50 Eastern. We'll send you to our studios after these messages.